In this video, we are going to learn how to multiply multi-digit numbers. At first, we are going to learn how to multiply multi-digit numbers by one-digit numbers. We have two examples that we are going to go through together. Then, we are going to move on to the next section and learn how to multiply a multi-digit number by another multi-digit number. Before we start with multiplying large numbers, we need to remember the commutative law of multiplication. This law states that with multiplication of numbers, you can change the order of the numbers in the problem, and it will not affect the answer. The order does not matter if you are multiplying numbers. For any real numbers a and b, a times b equals b times a. 2 times 3 equals 6. If we switch the numbers around, 3 times 2 also equals 6. It doesn't matter whether we do 2 times 3 or whether we do 3 times 2. So we can change the order when we are multiplying not only two numbers, but also when we are multiplying three numbers or more. Okay, let's start. Let's try to multiply 178 by 5. The first thing we need to do is to rewrite the problem in a stacked form. Instead of writing the numbers side by side, we stack them on top of one another. First, we stack 178, the number with the most digits, on top of 5, the number with the fewest digits. According to the commutative law of multiplication, we can change the order of the numbers if we are multiplying them. It will not affect the answer. Notice that the ones position for each of the two numbers are aligned vertically. When you stack numbers, make sure the numbers are lined up correctly. The ones place of the numbers on top should always be directly over the ones place of the number beneath it. After our numbers are lined up, we put the multiplication sign to the left of the numbers to show that we are multiplying them. Instead of an equal sign, we draw a line just below the bottom number, because the answer is going to go below that. Now we are ready to learn the procedure for multiplying. What we are going to do is to break up this big multiplication problem into a series of small steps. Those small steps involve multiplying a digit of the bottom number by a digit of the top number. Now in our problem, we only have one digit on the bottom, and we are going to multiply it by each of the digits of the top number, starting with the ones place and working our way to the left. The top number has 3 digits. This means that our problem will have 3 steps. And it's important to remember that we always start with the ones place column and then work our way to the left. For the first step, we multiply the bottom digit, 5, by the digit in the ones place of the top number, which is 8. 5 times 8 equals 40. We get a 2-digit number, and like with multi-digit addition, we have to carry the first digit up to the top of the next column, because it will be in the way of the next answer digit if we don't. Thus, we write 0 in the ones place of the answer and carry 4 up to the top of the next number place column, which is the tens place. Now we can move on to the second step. We multiply the bottom digit, 5, by the digit in the tens place of the top number, which is 7. 5 times 7 equals 35. But there is also 4 we carried up to the top from the previous step. What do we do with that? We need to add it to the answer we've just got. 35 plus 4 equals 39. And we get another 2-digit number. It looks like we have to carry again, but we already know how to do that. So we write 9 in the tens place of the answer and carry 3 up to the top of the next number place column, which is the hundreds place. Now we can move on to the third and last step. We have 5 times 1, which is 5. Since we carry 3, we add it to the 5. 5 plus 3 equals 8. We write 8 in the hundreds place of our answer under the line. Okay, we've completed all 3 steps, and the answer to our problem, 178 times 5, is 890. Let's try one more example. Let's multiply 8,514 by 7. The first step is the same. We stack the numbers up according to their place values. And first stack 8,514, the number with the most digits, on top of 7. Be sure to line up the ones places. After our numbers are lined up, we put the multiplication sign to the left of the numbers. Instead of an equal sign, we draw a line just below the bottom number. Since our top number has 4 digits, this means we will break this problem up into 4 small steps. We are going to multiply the bottom digit by each digit of the top number, starting with the ones place on the right and working our way to the left. Okay, here we go with the first step. We multiply the bottom digit by the top digit in the ones place. 7 times 4 equals 28. We get a 2-digit number, so we need to carry the first digit up to the top of the next column. Thus, we write 8 in the ones place of the answer and carry 2 up to the top of the tens place column. Now we can move on to the second step. We multiply the bottom digit by the next digit in the top number, which is in the tens place. 7 times 1 equals 7. Since we carried 2, we add it to 7. 7 plus 2 equals 9. This time we have a 1-digit number, so we don't need to carry. We write 9 in the tens place of our answer under the line. Now we move on to the next step. We multiply 7 by 5, which equals 35. It's a 2-digit number, so we have to carry again. We write 5 in the hundreds place of our answer and carry 3 up to the top of the next column, which is the thousands place column. Let's move on to the fourth and last step. We multiply 7 by 8, which is 56. Since we carried 3, we added to 56. 56 plus 3 equals 59. It's a 2-digit number, but it's the last step, so we don't need to carry. Thus, we have our final answer. 8,514 times 7 equals 59,598. All right, we've learned how to multiply multi-digit numbers by one-digit numbers. That is the basis of multi-digit multiplication. So, we are ready to move on to the next section and learn how to multiply a multi-digit number by another multi-digit number. Let's try to multiply a 4-digit number by a 2-digit number. Let's multiply 6,285 by 37. The first step is the same. We stack the numbers up according to their place values. And first stack 6,285, the number with the most digits, on top of 37. Be sure to line up the ones places. After our numbers are lined up, we put the multiplication sign to the left of the numbers. Instead of an equal sign, we draw a line just below the bottom number. By stacking the numbers up, we formed columns for each number place. As we multiply a 4-digit number by a 2-digit number, we are going to break up this big multiplication problem into 3 parts. What are the 3 parts? 6,285 times 37 equals 6,285 times 7 plus 30. If we open the parentheses, we get 6,285 times 7 plus 6,285 times 30. 30 is 3 times 10. So we can multiply 6,285 by 7, multiply 6,285 by 3, then by 10, and then add these two values. Let's start and multiply 6,285 by 7. We already know how to do that. Since our top number has 4 digits, this means we will break this problem up into 4 small steps. We're going to multiply the first bottom digit, 7, by each digit of the top number, starting with the ones placed on the right and working our way to the left. So, the first step is to multiply 7 by the top digit in the ones place. 7 times 5 equals 35. We get a 2-digit number, so we need to carry the first digit up to the top of the next column. So we write 5 in the ones place of the answer and carry 3 up to the top of the tens place column. Now we can do the second step. We multiply the bottom digit by the next digit of the top number. 7 times 8 equals 56. Since we carried 3, we add it to 56. 56 plus 3 equals 59. We get a two-digit number, so we need to carry the first digit up to the top of the next column. So we write 9 in the tens place of the answer and carry 5 up to the top of the hundreds place column. We move on to the next step. We multiply 7 by 2, which equals 14. Since we carried 5, we add it to 14. 14 plus 5 equals 19. It's a two-digit number, so we have to carry again. We write 9 in the hundreds place of our answer and carry 1 up to the top of the thousands place column. Let's move on to the fourth and last step. We multiply 7 by 6, which is 42. Since we carried 1, we add it to 42. 42 plus 1 equals 43. It's a two-digit number, but it's the last step, so we don't need to carry. Thus, 6,285 times 7 equals 43,995. Now we need to multiply the other bottom digit by each of the top digits, which means we need to do 4 more steps. We need to start the second answer line for the next set of steps. We are going to put our new answer just below the first one. So the first answer line comes from our first bottom digit, and the second answer line will come from our second bottom digit. Since the second digit of the bottom number is in the tens place, that means that even though the digit is only a 3, its value is really 30. That's 10 times bigger, so the answer we get will also be 10 times bigger. Thus, before we start multiplying, we need to put a 0 in the first spot of the second answer line. This means that all the other answer digits we are going to put there are shifted to the next bigger number place. But before we move on, we need to cross out all the digits that we carried from the first answer line, because we've already used them. Let's do the first step for our second bottom digit. We multiply 3 by the ones place digit of the top number. 3 times 5 equals 15, and that goes in our second answer line. Right next to the 0 we put there. We get a two-digit number, so we need to carry the first digit up to the top of the next column. We always put the digit we carry above the next top digit that we are going to multiply. So we write 5 in the tens place of the answer and carry 1 up to the top of the tens place column. Now we can do the second step. 3 times 8 equals 24. Since we carried 1, we add it to 24. 24 plus 1 equals 25. It's a two-digit number, so we have to carry again. We write 5 in the hundreds place of our answer and carry 2 up to the top of the hundreds place column. So we move on to the third step. We multiply 3 by 2, which equals 6. Since we carried 2, we add it to 6. 6 plus 2 equals 8. This time we have a one-digit number, so we don't need to carry. We write 8 in the thousands place of the answer. Let's move on to the fourth and last step. We multiply 3 by 6, which equals 18. It's a two-digit number, but it's the last step, so we don't need to carry. Thus, we get the second part of our answer. 6,285 times 30 equals 188,550. All right, we finally completed all the multiplication steps. We've multiplied each bottom digit by each top digit. Now we have to get the final answer. We need to add these two numbers together. These two numbers are already stacked up, like an addition problem should be. So we can add them column by column, starting from the ones place column, just like we did in the multi-digit addition video. 5 plus 0 equals 5. 9 plus 5 equals 14, so we write 4 and carry 1. 9 plus 5 plus 1 equals 15, so we write 5 and carry 1 again. 3 plus 8 plus 1 equals 12. So write 2 and carry 1. 4 plus 8 plus 1 equals 13. So write 3 and carry 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Thus, the answer to our problem, 6,285 times 37, is 232,545. Okay, but what do we do if we need to multiply a multi-digit number by a 3-digit number or by a 4-digit number, and so on? In accordance with the procedure for multiplying, we need to multiply each digit of the bottom number by each digit of the top number. So, if we need to multiply by a 3-digit number, we get the third answer line, because we also need to multiply the third bottom digit by each digit of the top number, like we did before. And we need to shift the result of multiplying by the third digit by 2 zeros, because the third digit is in the hundreds place. So, after we've multiplied the first and the second bottom digit by each digit of the top number, just like we did before for the 2-digit bottom number, we multiply the third bottom digit, which is in the hundreds place, by each digit of the top number, starting with the ones place and moving to the left. Then we add these three numbers together and get the final answer. If we need to multiply by a 4-digit number, we get the fourth answer line, because we also need to multiply the fourth bottom digit by each digit of the top number, like we did before. And we need to shift the result of multiplying by the fourth digit by 3 zeros, because the fourth digit is in the thousands place. So, after we've multiplied the first, second, and third bottom digit by each digit of the top number, just like we did before for the 3-digit bottom number, we multiply the fourth bottom digit, which is in the thousands place, by each digit of the top number, starting with the ones place and moving to the left. Then we add these four numbers together and get the final answer. Okay, I hope you have a better idea now of how multi-digit multiplication works.